Let's talk about the experimental mindset. It's raining out here in Charlotte, North Carolina today, and I was getting cooped up in my apartment, so let's make a YouTube video. He who experiments the most wins. It's not the fastest, it's not the biggest or the strongest that survive, it's the most cunning, it's the most creative, and it's the most sly. So the experimental mindset, it's not just a mindset hack, but it's also like a strategy. So the way that it works is you want to look at life through the lens of a mad scientist. So imagine that you are the mad scientist and the entire world is just your laboratory. Everything is an experiment, maybe except for like family and stuff like that. Okay, so exclude family because don't treat your family like a science experiment. But everything else, treat it completely like a science experiment. This is what a scientist would do, a mad scientist. So the way that it kind of unlocks your mindset to be more successful is it makes you detached from outcome. If everything is just an experiment to you, then what happens with the experiment isn't a reflection of you, but rather a reflection of the experiment itself. So think of it this way. What does a mad scientist do? Right? He's in his lab and he's taking all of these different chemicals and mixing them together and getting reactions. Sometimes it blows up in his face, other times it actually works out. So, how you use this is first of all, keep your goals in mind and then think about all the different ways that you can achieve your goals and take action as if it's an experiment. So, just a couple of examples for you. Like when I first started posting reels on Instagram, I treated it as an experiment in the beginning. I wasn't actually posting on Instagram. I was just making videos and putting it out there to see what would happen. You can think of the same thing if it comes to maybe like dating, right? If you're treating dating like a mad scientist, and if you're willing to experiment, for example, you want to go walk up and talk to a girl. Well, go try it out and see what happens, right? If it works, then awesome. And if it blows up in your face, then it's not you, right? It's more so the concoction of things that you put together that created the reaction. So you can treat starting up a conversation like an experiment. Now, it's also like a strategy too, because what this allows you to do is stay in the game and get in the game without being attached to the outcome. And that's why most people don't do things, right? Is because they're not willing to experiment. It's a reflection of them. Like if they try, if you really were to try to break out of your 9 to 5, or if you were to try to improve your, social status or dating or talk to a girl or whatever, if you were to try and fail and it's a reflection of you, that's going to make you way less likely to do it. But when the the opener is just an experiment just to see what happens, good or bad, whatever the thing is, it's not a reflection of you. It's just the experiment. So that's the mindset, right? The experimental mindset is just looking at life through the lens of being a mad scientist, trying a bunch of different things, and then keeping yourself detached from the outcome itself. So it's an exercise in outcome independence. And you can take this to your sales calls, right? Like even to this day in my business, I've got a team of 5 people. We're trying out different ad campaigns. And when things are going really, really good for me, my highs aren't even that high either because I'm like, wow, I mean, this whole thing from the very beginning, even my business was just an experiment. I didn't really like start coaching people to really start coaching people. I started taking sales calls as an experiment, like just to see if somebody would pay for it. And they did. At the time I was still working my regular 9 to 5. That part wasn't the experiment. That was my real life. So it allows you to compartmentalize things. My real life was my 9 to 5. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd shower, I'd get in my Jeep and I'd be fucking, sweating on my way through traffic. And my real 9 to 5 with my boss and with my coworkers, that was real life, right? But starting a business, that wasn't real life. That was just an experiment, right? So I didn't know if it was going to work out or not. Turned on a couple of phone calls just to see what would happen. So it's like the scientist walking into a lab. He's just going to create a theory, and then he's going to test a theory. So just like you in your life, you're going to have a goal, and then you're going to test an action. And it's just a matter of putting a couple of different things into the petri dish or whatever the fuck that stuff's called. You scientist people probably know better than I do. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But here's what you'll realize is that shit just fucking works, dude. Shit works way more than you think it would. Approaching and talking to that girl, I can't tell you how many times I've been shocked where I've gone into the interaction way before I even knew what I was doing just to test out an opener and gone through the process, started the conversation, even in my mind thought that it went bad, like the science experiment exploded in my face and I was like, whoa, like that didn't work out at all. But then still getting a call back later on and still like going on a date somehow. So when you start experimenting and you take the experimental mindset to heart, what you're gonna notice is that shit fucking works, man. Like things work way more often than you expect them to. So that's pretty much it, man. That's it, guys. Like start experimenting. Take the experimental mindset. It's all just a test. It's not even real, right? Like that's the mindset that you want to have, is that there's no stakes involved. Like it's all just house money. Pretend that you just have unlimited the laboratory, like Dexter's Lab. You have all of the different ingredients, have all these things at your fingertips. Just go try it out and experiment, because if it blows up in your face, you don't even actually lose anything, man. When you have that thought process, it's way quicker. You'll get to your goals way quicker, and it's way easier. So detach yourself from the outcome. Use the experimental mindset. I hope that helps you guys. Talk to you later. Peace.